Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel. In addition to the 13 LaValley's stores serving Vermont and New Hampshire and their preferred building systems, they own and operate one of the largest white pine mills in New England. Let's hear about it.
The Northeast and the Northeast, New Hampshire as well, was at one time 75% deforested, cleared for sheep mostly, and we're 90% forested now. The majority of our logs come from planned forest harvest. The yard and the sawmill have been here probably 60 years. This is all eastern white pine with a harvest up planned by professional foresters. I'd say 90% of our wood comes from these planned harvests. We take quite a bit of wood from tree companies, which is where the metal detector behind me comes in. If you can see the scale station behind me, where the logs are dropped off in the trough, and they go through a metal detector first. Most sawmills, the metal detectors are well in the sawmill after the debarking. Once we deck the logs here, they brought over to the debarker. We feel we have two customers here. We have the people that are selling us their logs, and we have the sawmill that's taking the logs from us.
Once the logs are moved from the log yard into the mill with the wheel loader, they go to a Nicholson ring debarker, just installed in the last 4 months or so. So it basically peels the bark off the woods versus grinding it off. One of the things you need to have in a modern mill to keep yourself successful and reduce fiber loss. From there, we have two breakdown rigs. We have a double cut with a Clearman head rig, saws both ways. And then on the other side of the mill, we have a single circle saw, HMC saw. They break down logs into cants, and a cant is basically 6 inches by 12 inches and less. So maybe it's 6 by 12, 6 by 10. Those cants go to a Stenner resaw where we break it down into 6 boards. Sometimes the pieces will go to an edger. They need to, take the wane, the bark, the defects off the edge. From there, they're transported into an automated grading line. Used to be in a sawmill like ours, you would have a guy that would just stand and grade boards all day. 8 months or so ago, we installed a Comac Trim Expert, which grades the boards using laser, AI, 3D scanning. I like to say that Comac gets up every Monday morning, and it doesn't matter if it's day after the Super Bowl or if it's day after Father's Day or whatever, it's the same every day you turn it on. From there, once the boards are trimmed and graded properly, it goes to a 36 bin sort where the boards are sorted by grade, width, and length. And from there it goes to a newly installed automated grade stacking line. We used to have 5-6 guys who just lay kiln sticks. Now the boards go down, and through the use of technology and great engineering, all this is done by 1 or 2 men now. Well, one, it makes very nice kiln bundles for reduction of fiber loss. So, through automation, it's great when you can eliminate the horrible jobs. From there, the lumber, which is now on kiln sticks, goes to the kiln area where it's staged, grouped by grade, length. So after 8 days in a kiln, the lumber is then taken out and moved to a planing mill. It goes into the planer, the kiln sticks are removed, it goes through a planing process, to which then maybe it's made into several different profiles that are popular in eastern white pine.
We make any pattern boards from like an edge and center bead board to a WP4, which is a V-joint, shiplaps, tons of shiplaps, all different thickness faces, like we do anything from a 7/8 natural face from a sawmill to a 13/16 bandsaw. We do what we call a rougher head, which is like a striated face. We do a clean bandsaw through our bandsaw in the planing mill, which will give you the nice clean look, gets rid of sticking marks, anything. Can take an actual smooth board and put it back rough. We're making a lot of square edge high-end boards for trim.
From the planing mill, we go to the warehouse for sales. And then throughout that process, we generate byproducts. We chips and sawdust in the green sawmill, which we utilize to burn for energy, to create steam for the drying process. We also have a 1 meg generator where we create our own electricity. That electricity is basically used for the drying process. The drying process is 100% green. We generate enough chips to create the steam pressure, and we generate enough electricity for all the fans and everything that's needed in the drying process. And in the kiln dried, we create bag shavings that we sell to our own retail stores, use for distribution, and we sell to farmers and pet owners, anyone that wants to buy bags of shavings versus getting truckloads. So it's a very green and efficient operation. In addition to our energy production at the boiler area where we have a cogen, we also have a 5-acre solar field. We're a very green company, and we take from the forest, but we take as little as we have to, and we use every bit of wood gets used.
Wow, with this mill operation, a paint and decorating store, Preferred Building Systems, and their 13 stores, LaValley Building Supply is the largest independently owned building materials supplier in Vermont and New Hampshire that strives to be the top quality, low-cost provider of materials and services. Check out all their operations. Join us next week of this all-new edition of Your Yankee Chronicle as we return to Preferred Building Systems, where their talented and highly skilled design team can take practically any home plan or concept and convert it into an energy-efficient structure. Next week, we'll hear about more of their operation here. Dan Wolf, the New Hampshire House Representative for Newbury and New London, will give us his update. Scott Byron, a local fly tying craftsman, will show us his work. And we'll close with Marion Hafner of Chadwick Funeral Services on coming up with a plan. Tune into our replay Game of the Week this Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. This week it's boys basketball as Kearsarge hosts Guilford. Check out all scheduled programming at ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date information on games, Yankee Chronicle specials, and more. I'm Abby Peel. See you again next week at the same time for another edition of Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.